Beginnings. On July 25, 1996, through the initiative of the PSA President, Dr. Alfonso Doloroso, Resolution 96-004 was passed by the then incumbent PSA officers and Board of Directors, creating the PSA Foundation for Advancement in Anesthesiology. The PSA FAA would task itself to solicit, raise, and manage funds in support of innovative and non-traditional projects by the PSA, CME, and other committees, and more specifically would develop courses and training modules as an alternative program of the PBA, but not exclusively through distance education. PSA appropriated for PSA FAA an initial capital of 500,000 pesos that came from the earnings of the 3rd AOSRA Congress, chaired by Dr. Merly Odi, and the 1966 mid-year refresher course. At the Shangri-La Manila in Makati on August 9, 1996, a memorandum of agreement between Abbott and PSA was signed by Dr. Alfonso Doloroso, PSA President, and Mr. Edwin Feist, Abbott General Manager, for the support of the PSA Abbott Distance Education Program. Abbott would grant 500,000 pesos initially and pledge of 250,000 pesos annually in support of the FAA and its distance education program. Then began the first fumbling steps and quest through the distance education corridor. Serious headway was made in 2002, when then PSA President Dr. Fidel Payawal made the distance education his flagship project, with Dr. Ludivino de Guzman as the able first chair of the ad hoc committee on distance education, and subsequently succeeded in 2003 by Dr. Fidel Payawal. A curriculum of basic and clinical anesthesia was developed through the help of Dr. Nemuel Fahutagana of the NTTC by the core faculty made up of Drs. Romarico Suarez, Dr. Manuel Silao, and Dr. Benigno Sulit Jr. Distance learning, a form of non-conventional but systematized instruction where there generally is a separation of trainee from the faculty. This curriculum ran from 2003 to 2005, covering 14 basic science and 17 clinical science printed modules that contained SAQs, tasks, and skills for mastery taken home by the student for self-study. Communications were done through telephone, emails, and faxes. First Saturdays of the month were face-to-face meetings at the BMA Lifeboy conference room with the faculty. The clinical part of the program started in June 2004, where students were assessed and supervised by assigned preceptors in affiliated hospitals. Included was a week rotation in NCR hospitals, like the B Anesthesia section of the Philippine General Hospital, Philippine Orthopedic Center for blocks, and PCMC for pediatric anesthesia. Of the 14 initial enrollees, 9 persevered to be the first batch of graduates of the PSA Abbott Distance Education Program. January 11, 2006 was indeed a happy day. A silhouette of DEPA success was now taking shape when 2 DEPA students ranked high in the anesthesia in-service examination for residents, and 3 of the DEPA students passed the PBA written exam in 2006 and another in 2007. During Romulo Buson's presidency, the 2006 DEPA Ad Hoc Committee, chaired by Maria Zenaida Mariano, and the core faculty too, undertook the task to make the program more e-learning. The new program was a hybrid web-based distance learning that comprised of 10 modules on basic, 13 advanced education in anesthesia, 3 modules on research methodology, as well as on critical thinking, review, and test-wise manship. Skills laboratory were held by selected DPBA facilitators in designated hospitals around the regions where the students were. There were 4 face-to-face meetings with the faculty as well. The learning package were grouped into DEPA 1, geared for anesthesiologists coming from non-accredited institutions as of December 31, 2000 and earlier, as well as those who took the DOH 6 months training in 1997 or earlier and practicing anesthesia for at least 10 years. A DEPA 2 expanded learning package is also offered as a review. Again, in June 21, 2007, the PBA gave its approval for eligibility of the DEPA students to take the PBA examinations. On January 14, 2008, the remodeled DEPA classes opened with 10 enrollees. The course ended last January 4, 2010, with 7 completing the course successfully. Their graduation is what we celebrate tonight. The DEPA continues to proceed into new frontiers. It has expanded its program to accept enrollees interested in review. be enrolled in the DEPA as a supplement for their residency programs. The PSA DEPA is the first distance learning ever made for and by any medical specialty in the world. We have taken the first steps this past 8 years, and much more is still to be done. The PSA DEPA is the first distance learning ever made for and by any medical specialty in the world. We have taken the first steps this past 8 years, and much more is still to be done. A refining of the course, a fuller integration of the program to be e-learning, faculty training and development, and full achievement of technical savvy, reaching more anesthesiologists in the far corners of our country, and one day perhaps a PSA distance education school for anesthesiology with global reach. Aim for the moon. Should you fail, you'll fall among the stars.